energy flow. Tapping into life, we're ready to shine. With every step forward, we're crossing the line. Embrace the hustle, let the fire ignite. Together we rise, we'll conquer the night.
Welcome to another episode of the Tapping into Life podcast. Come on in. I am your spiritual life coach, Matthew B., back with another episode that is going to be informative and insightful and enlightening. So come on in, everybody. Grab your pad, your pen, your drink, and your snack. Have a seat on the spiritual living room that is tapping into life. Come on in. Welcome each and every one of you to the podcast. We're going to get started. I'm having technical difficulties, but nonetheless, we're going to move forward. Okay. All right. It is so good to know that each and every one of you are continuing the journey of self discovery, spiritual identity, identifying trauma, healing, and maintaining all that needs to be maintained to create a better you. So come on in. Before we get started, please like, share, tell a friend, and tell that friend to tell 10 more friends, okay? All right. Come on in, y'all. Listen, I am going to say one thing before we get started. All right. The topic of this discussion is a very rabbit hole, spider web topic. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say certain things and use certain examples to help me bring forth to you the central topic. I am very aware of the views and opinions of people as it pertains to their individual selves. I am going to keep the comment section open. Please be respectful to not only me, the host, but to all that is going to be commenting on this episode. All right. Please be respectful. And I want to say this and I want to put it out now because I know the direction that this episode is going to go might strike a nerve, might spark something in somebody. Hopefully, the spark could be a good spark. All right. We're not going to do forest fires. We're going to have a conversation, a mature conversation, in the an insightful conversation. I'm going to bring forth as much knowledge and wisdom as I can. But let's please be respectful to one another. All right. So part of me being a spiritual life coach, part of uh, my assignment, my spiritual assignment, requires me to not only analyze the soil in which we sow our seeds and in the soil that our roots are in, but also at times analyze the air or the spiritual atmosphere that our humanness and our physical existence is in. Okay. So that being said, I have to be uncomfortable for at least an hour bringing up the topic at hand. Now, today's topic, we are centering around fear. All right. FEAR. Fear. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Fear manifests itself in numerous ways within numerous people of numerous situations in numerous lives. Fear is different from one individual to the next individual, from me to you. It all manifests differently, but we're going to analyze this thing called fear. Here's why. Because we as mankind have switched up the definition of fear, and it is now time to get on a universal definition of fear. This thing called fear, somewhere down the line, have conditioned us to, dare I say, maneuver differently, move differently, think in a way that we should not be thinking, responding in a way we should not be responding, right? Feeling in a way that we should not be feeling. And if I can say this, fear is blocking, it is the blockage in the connection. It's one of the blockages in our connection with our spiritual selves and identifying who we truly are and identifying and acknowledging the power we have within ourselves, right? Fear fuels the process of identifying trauma. Fear is also an ingredient of trauma as it pertains differently to each and every one of you, including myself. Okay. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that I don't have any fear at all, and fear doesn't affect me, and fear is not an ingredient to one of my traumas, and fear is not hindering me from doing what I need to do. I am not going to say that. All right. I'm not going to say that I am picture perfect and it's all of you, y'all the ones with the problems. I'm not going to say that. All right. Because as I speak, I am learning how to identify fear as it pertains to me. This is what conversations do, right? This is what conversations do. This is when you have a conversation, you learn something from me and I learn something from you, right? But fear it is really, really, really blocking us from getting to where we need to get to in our journey of self-discovery, in our healing process, and acknowledging the toxic fruit and the toxins that not are only within our spiritual soil, but within the spiritual atmosphere. Fear affects our mind, fear affects our emotions, fear affects our will to survive. Fear manifests itself in our human nature and in our own individual spiritual atmospheres. Fear is doing some off the wall, weird, crazy, not so good things. So today we're going to dive into fear. All right. Now, I'm not going to assault y'all's intelligence on fear. I'm not going to insult the intelligence and the brilliance that you all have in each individual mind. But I want y'all to write this down, underline it, bold it, highlight it, write it in marker, write it in cursive, put the quotation marks on the beginning and the end of what I'm about to say. Do something for you to remember this statement. All right. This statement goes as follows: fear is not meant to last a long time. Fear is not meant to last a long time. The lifespan of fear is that of a moment. The lifetime of fear is that of a moment. It is an emotion that is recognized or felt in a moment, not a day, not a season, but a moment. All right. Now follow me because I know some of y'all be like, okay, there he go ruffling up feathers. Let me soothe your feathers. All right. All right. Just bear with me. Fear, the lifespan of fear is only that, is equivalent to that of a moment. Fear is a instant moment, is an instant emotion to where your beneficial fruit, your knowledge is called to kick in for the protection of you, the individual, as it pertains to your spiritual existence, to your emotions, to your mental, and to your will to survive. It is not something that we must dwell in. It is something that pokes us and we respond accordingly. It is not to be dwelled upon. It is not to condition us. It is not to compel us. It is not to affect us. It is to require the ignition or to turn on the things that we need in order to continue in a beneficial, productive, positive mindset. However, all right, I'll write that down. If I move, I'm trying to go as slow as I can, but if I move too fast, you can always go back and finish writing it out, but we're going to move on. Because y'all say I talk too much. I'm trying to keep it no more than an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. So when we're looking at fear, we are in what I have seen in the past 8 years. What I've seen in the past 8 years? No, 4 years. I'm sorry. We're going to say 5. 4 years. 4 to 5 years. What I have seen. No, I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say 8 because this goes to what I'm going to say later. 8 years. Within the past 8 years, we have been living in fear. Now, some of us, but I'm not going to say some, a lot of us have been living in fear longer than 8 years. A lot of us have been living in fear from childhood. A lot of us have been living in fear since teenagehood. A lot of us have been living in fear since we walked into, 18, 19 years old, since we walked into, being baby adults. A lot of us have been living in fear since birth. Some of these fears stem from our upbringing. A lot of these fears stem from our trauma, but most of these fears stem from the condition in our spiritual atmosphere and the condition in our humanist atmosphere, the areas we grew up in, the areas we were raised in, the economy and how it's affecting individuals. And when it comes to the overall atmosphere that connects each and every human existence, it has a lot to do with the economy, the social economy, the economics of things, prices going up, things that's going up that shouldn't go up, things that's going down that shouldn't go down, a divided nation to where 51% favors this person or this political party or these beliefs, and the other, what, 49% believes in the opposite. We got left wing and right wing. We got Republican and Democrat. We have, racial tension. We have the war, the silent war on religion. We have the civil war that's going on within religion. We have this civil war going on within our country. We have so much going on that it's affecting our will to survive. It's affecting our emotions. We're starting to question our spirituality, our spiritual existence. We're starting to question our humanness. We're starting to question all of these things, and it's starting to affect our emotions. So now here we are with untamed emotions. We are saying that, oh, we good, but when the trial by fire comes, are we good? One thing I realize, and one thing I have seen, is that a lot of people, how they maneuver their lives, how they live their lives, the things that they do, their human nature, is not just internal, but it is also external. It's not just the words that people are saying, and people being in your ear. It is also the atmosphere that you grow up in, the atmosphere that you're currently living in. What are you hearing in the media? What are you hearing from other people? A lot of us are believing narratives. A lot of us are taking a snippet of the entire truth and running with it. So we now, within the past week, okay, let's get into it, Matthew. We now, within the past week, have really, really, really slipped on some ice here, right? Our feet has lost its grip. We are slipping and sliding and tripping, and we are doing all of these things. We are stumbling because of a transition of power that's going to take place within the next couple of months. A month and, let me see, December. Yeah, within the next couple of months. Let's say a couple of months. Some of us are scared. Some of us, there's thoughts running around. What if, what do I do? How do I do it? Where I'm going to go from here? I get it. I get it. But fear is not your fruit. Your spirit does not speak fear. Your soul does not speak fear. If it was designed to speak fear, then fear would not have a negative impact on your spiritual existence, on your physical existence, on your mind, on your emotions, on your will to survive, on your humanist nature. It will never, ever, ever have had a negative impact had it would have been something that our soul is supposed to bear. If it's the fruit that we need to continue in life, fear would have never had a negative impact. But what I am starting to see, and what I am gathering, is that fear is pausing a lot of us from doing great things. Fear is having us in a panic. What is this new president? What is this new president or this new administration going to do? How is the government going to be impacted? If this happens, then how I'm going to do this. If this happens, then this happens. When that happens, then this, and this, and this, and this. And yeah, and we doing too much. It is okay to understand the emotion of fear, but fear is that of a moment. It is only to be felt in a moment. And then spiritually, it clicks on knowledge, work, peace, joy, boundaries, productive fights, productive fights, protection, wisdom, common sense. It turns on all of these things. It's the switch that should turn on all of these things. Now, see, what's happening is when we get a change, first of all, there should be no fear of change. Because we got to realize we are still in the transition. We're still in the spirit, the spiritual meaning of the past 4 years, to where we've been enlightened, we've gotten different insight, we've been given the knowledge. Okay. The light has shined on things that the light should have been shined on eons ago. We are dealing with not only monsters that are in the spiritual atmosphere that connects us individually together, but it is also within ourselves. We have gathered all this information. Now it is time to put in the work. Now it is time to understand that monsters are not always defeated in a combative move. Monsters are oftentimes defeated because let's be clear, we're not dealing with physical entities that stand 50 feet tall. They got saliva and an ugly tooth and bad skin and roaring and smelly. We're not dealing with those definition of monsters. We're dealing with spiritual monsters. And in order to see, this is what happened. We feel that we can fight. We feel that we can fight spiritual monsters with a physical mindset and physical weapons. You try shooting depression with a gun and see how far that gets you. You try shooting hatred with a gun and see how far that gets you. You try stabbing trauma with a knife and see how far that gets you. You ain't gonna get very far. We're thinking in our heads that in order to fight a spiritual monster or spiritual monsters, that we have to fight physically. So how are we fighting physically from a spiritual monster? Because of our untamed emotions that is now shaping and condition our human nature to do what we feel that we need to do to fight a spiritual monster, to say the things that we need to say to fight a spiritual monster. Let me tell y'all something. These spiritual Nephilims can only be destroyed when the connection that it has within us stops. Once we cut off that connection that is allowing these monsters to thrive, then that's when the monstrosities that be will no longer exist. Because let's be honest, you causing a riot is not going to get laws turned. You causing a riot is not going to destroy racial tension. You causing a riot is not going to get laws set in place and the abolishment of other laws. It's not going to happen. You're trying to weaponize the thing that's causing you, that's having an impact on you, that's affecting you negatively. We have these monstrosities, right? These monstrosities are built on hate and a lack of knowledge, which is ignorance. These monstrosities are built on the absence of having the ability to connect with people who are not like you, who are different from you, of greed and jealousy. Hmm? These are these monstrosities. These are how they grew up. This is their spiritual DNA that's creating these things, these toxic things. And what do? Our human nature fights these monsters. They're fighting these monsters by the very thing and the very ingredients that are causing these monstrosities to exist. So we're fighting the monstrosity that is hatred. Soon as we see somebody who voted for a different political party, we going after them. Soon as we see somebody who is at a different skin color, we're going after them. Soon as we see somebody who has a different sexual orientation, we're after them. Soon as we see somebody who identifies differently from what we identify as, we're going after them. It's hatred trying to destroy hatred by weaponizing hatred. Make that make sense. Fear is causing us to reinstate iniquity. Fear is causing us to reinstate where we used to be. Okay? Fear is saying, let me put, it's compelling us and conditioning us and hypnotizing us and poisoning us to say, you know what? I'm going to put my goals and dreams on hold because my family said I couldn't do it, because the economy is the way it is. Because my friends said that's a bad idea. Because my spouse said, Fear is soothing our minds to believe that what others are saying or the toxic conditions, that it's okay to not do something. It's okay to not have a family. It's okay to not focus on our goals and our dreams. It's okay to not further ourselves in the careers that we chose to further ourselves into. It's okay to not be in a relationship. Why? Because it's not going to happen. They were right. Maybe it's me. I'm the problem. I'm scared of what people might say. I fear of what people might say. So I'm not going to do it. I fear how society looks at me if I choose to to do and live my authentic self. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hide in a turtle shell. I'm not going to file that LLC. I'm not going to do that business. I'm not going to get into that relationship. I'm not going to do a podcast. I'm not going to be a singer. I'm not going to be a writer. I'm just scared because of what people might think of me. Now I'm going to try to keep this without using a lot of profanity. All right. We try to keep this podcast without using a lot of profanity. And I believe that if anybody has been on this podcast and have said more cuss words, it would have been me. All right. But let me keep it real. I'm not going to use the F bomb because some people may say F them. Okay. Somebody, do you be real, be true to yourself. F what they think. And as much as I agree, I'm not going to use that word. But I will say, damn them. Damn those people. When I tell you, you got to, whew, damn them. Damn the fear and the people that have these energies that is causing fear in the lives of other people. Damn them, okay? And I'm not saying throw them away. I'm not saying toss them into the pits of hell. I'm not saying cut them off. I'm just saying you, the individual, got to start setting up boundaries. Anything, including fear, that compromises who you are spiritually. Put them walls up and stop caring what other people say. So because your parents, because your friends, your coworkers, your family, some rando that's trolling on social media, just because that person says something that's something that's not in the favor of what you want to do, that you're going to be fearful, you're going to put a pause or stop completely your goals and your dreams, your aspirations, you having a family, you moving into a career, you doing your spiritual assignment, you having a business, you getting married. You mean to tell me because the opinions of somebody else are opposing to what you feel and what you want to do, that you allow them to impart fear inside of you to the point that you say, you know what, I'm going to put my life on hold because I'm scared of what these people may think and those people may think. What I'm here to tell you, damn those people, put your boundaries up. And if they can't respect what you got going on and everything beneficial inside of what God has given you to do, to say, the assignments, the business, the voice, the book, whatever, you know what? It is time to put your boundaries. Put them up. Put them up. Multiply the strength times 10 and do what you were created to do. Damn that energy, okay? Hashtag damn that energy. That energy of fear. It is time to get rid of it. We are no longer living in fear. I understand that things may happen. I understand that things, the things may change. I understand that things may not be in our favor. Things may seem impossible. But it is now time to eliminate this fear. It is okay for something to happen to be like, whoa. But no sooner than that moment happened. Okay, knowledge, what we got? Okay, wisdom, what we got? Okay, peace, what we got? Okay, happiness, what we got? Okay, long suffering, what we got? Okay, endurance, what we got? Okay, love, what we got? I'm gonna need all y'all to come to the spiritual table, pour out everything y'all got, because this thing called fear thing, it can control us, it can dictate us, it can craft us and condition us under certain circumstances, but at the end of the day, it will not. It will not. And the thing about it is, fear does not only impact our spiritual, fear impacts and affects and infects our physical. You want to know how many people walking around here healthy as a horse physically and all of a sudden come down with cancer? Why? Because fear has stressed them out so damn much. You want to know why people they can be so physically fit and doing everything right to keep their bodies in good shape and getting all the vitamins and the minerals, but they all of a sudden are constantly in a season staying sick. Why is that? Because stress and fear affects the immune system. We're scared of. If we only knew how many things that are scarier than the things that we are experiencing now, how many of those things were scarier that we survived? Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Why are we scared? Why are we scared? Are we in a time where inflation is going up and the prices are going up and we have some president that we're not in favor for? And look, this been going on since presidents started being voted in to office. Okay, if you go back from the first president to now number 47, come January, this you got one political party out here saying that the other political party is crazy and they're going to do this and they're going to do that and vice versa. You got that political party saying the same thing. You got the accuser accusing the accuser. You got all these political parties out here putting out false narratives, and we're sitting here so fearful that we forget to be knowledgeable of what's going on. Oh, this political party says this about this political party, and this is what they're going to do if this president is elected. Do your research. How about that? Let's do our research. Because there are some things that one political party has accused the other, both in the past and the present, and probably will be in the future. There have been, since I became an adult, numerous political parties accusing the other. But if you do the research, the false narrative is not as bad as what the other political party said about the political party that they're accusing. Do your research. It's funny to me. It's very interesting to me. It's mind boggling to me how we are so quick to get on posting, posting statuses and live feeds, and we get on these podcasts and we comment under these podcasts and these posts and all of these things of social media about how somebody could be so wrong, and we believe that the allegations of something or whatever is going on is right, but when facts are staring at us in the face, we just shut the hell up and don't even say nothing. So quiet you can hear a mouthpiece on cotton. We're fearful of the things that are alleged about what's going to go on or what's about to happen and what's this and what's that. We fail to do the research. We forget the knowledge that we gathered that these teachers spent years imparting in us about U.S. history and how the government works and how price and demand, supply and demand works, about how economic structure works. And we allow all of these things to come in between us and our sanity, us and our and the ability to tame our emotions and utilize these emotions appropriately, us and to connect with our spirituality and who we are and our identity of who we and the power that we have in us. We allow what's going on the outside to condition us to about it's conditioning us to not believe everything that we have on the inside. But we are our own individual selves and we do not let anybody dictate what we do. That's what we say. But soon as, an administration, a presidential administration change, we out here running scared. Well, not too long ago, yesterday, you said nothing scares me. You said nothing will stop me from getting to what I need to get to and fulfilling my goals and my dreams. Yet, here we are. It's very strange to me how we can be so quick to say, yeah, this is, I'm this and I'm that. But when it comes down to the fear, which is the test, the trial by fire, we forget the knowledge in this road of life, this journey of life. We forget it. Like, come on, y'all. We have to be able to maneuver through in the midst of an atmosphere that may not seem like it's in our favor. Your fruit, your ability, your inner power must shine brighter than anything that you think could cause hindrance to you. We cannot allow these things to hinder us from being great and walking in our truth and identifying who we are and healing. We can no longer do that. There is not an excuse anymore. Why? Because fear is similar to that of a moment. As quick as it comes, it goes. And we have to learn to stop dwelling in fear because it's stopping us from fulfilling everything that we're supposed to do. It is stopping us from being productive. It is stopping us from healing. It is stopping us from being happy. It is stopping us from loving. So the question is, what you scared of? Acknowledge the problem. Yeah, this is what's going on. Okay. This is what's going on. Where do we go from here? Because I'm not going to be scared to move. I'm not going to be scared to keep walking. I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to be conscious, but I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be fearful. That's not going to happen. This is the mindset that we need to have moving forward. Study that thing that caused that quick moment of fear. Study it, be knowledgeable of it, and learn how to maneuver through it. Learn how to take it by the horns and say, no, no, you will not affect me. It is a process, people, but we have to walk the process. We have to maneuver through the process. We have to be knowledgeable of things that causes us fear. And I understand some stuff you got to peel back the layers and go through. Let's start doing it. Let's start doing it. It is great that each and every one of you have continued to take in the time to make yourselves better, maintain good mental health, identify who you are, and heal. This has been another episode of the Tapping into Life podcast. And I hope that y'all eat this good fruit that I just gave you now. Okay? I hope so. Because in the midst of trials and tribulations, will you stand or will you be fearful? Is the question that you must ask yourself. I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to let y'all consume it. Think about it. And I hope something came out of it. All right? Fear is not your fruit. You don't need to bear it. You shouldn't be bearing it. And don't let it stop you from being you. All right? Until next time, be safe, be smart, and continue to tap in. I'll see you next time.